The 6th of June 1944 dawned like any other day in Nazi-occupied Europe. Operation Overlord, better known as D-Day, unfolded on the beaches of Normandy, France, as Allied forces launched a daring amphibious assault that would change the course of the war. The soldiers who landed on those beaches, many of whom were barely old enough to shave, carried the weight of freedom on their shoulders. By 1944, the grip of Nazi Germany had tightened across Europe, its shadow stretching from the frozen Eastern Front to the Atlantic coast. The liberation of France, a key strategic objective for the Allies, was paramount to turning the tide of the war. The success of the operation hinged on a multitude of factors: the element of surprise, favorable weather conditions, and the unwavering courage of the soldiers who would face the enemy head-on. By 1944, Nazi Germany, under the iron fist of Adolf Hitler, had erected a formidable barrier along the western coastline of Europe, the Atlantic Wall. The Atlantic Wall was a complex web of concrete bunkers, artillery emplacements, minefields, and anti-tank obstacles designed to withstand even the most relentless assault. Its very existence was a constant reminder of the challenge facing the Allies, a seemingly impenetrable barrier standing between them and the liberation of Europe. In the hushed confines of Allied command centers, a daring plan was taking shape, a masterpiece of military deception that would become legendary Operation Fortitude. The Allies leaked false intelligence, suggesting that the main invasion force would target the Pas-de-Calais region, the shortest distance across the English Channel. Operation Fortitude was a gamble, a high-stakes game of deception that relied on German miscalculation and Allied ingenuity. As the spring of 1944 unfolded, a sense of anticipation gripped the Allied forces massed in southern England. Across the English countryside, training intensified. Soldiers rehearsed every detail of the assault, from disembarking landing craft under simulated enemy fire to storming fortified positions. The fate of Europe, and perhaps the world, rested on the shoulders of these young men, poised on the brink of destiny. As darkness enveloped the English countryside on the eve of June 5, 1944, a new breed of warrior prepared to write their names in the annals of history. These were the Pathfinders, elite airborne units tasked with the perilous mission of illuminating the way for the main invasion force. They were Pathfinders, beacons in the dark, and their mission was paramount. While the Pathfinders forged a path through the darkness, thousands of paratroopers from the U.S. 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions prepared for their own perilous descent into occupied France. Their objective: to disrupt German defenses behind the beaches, seize key bridges and crossroads, and sow chaos in the enemy's ranks. They were the Screaming Eagles, the All-Americans, and they would face the enemy with unwavering courage and a fierce determination to liberate Europe from Nazi tyranny. Across the English Channel, their British counterparts in the 6th Airborne Division prepared for their own daring mission, codenamed Operation Tonga. Tasked with securing the eastern flank of the invasion area, they would land in the vicinity of the Orne River, their objective to seize vital bridges and prevent German reinforcements from reaching the beaches. They were the Red Devils, the British airborne elite, and they would fight with tenacity and skill, their actions a testament to the enduring spirit of the British soldier. As the first rays of dawn pierced the darkness, it became tragically clear that the airborne landings, while audacious in their conception, were not unfolding entirely according to plan. Strong winds, low cloud cover, and heavy anti-aircraft fire conspired to scatter the paratroopers far and wide, many landing miles from their intended drop zones. The widespread presence of paratroopers, even if not where they were supposed to be, sowed confusion among the German defenders, who struggled to ascertain the strength and disposition of the enemy forces. As the first faint glimmer of dawn illuminated the eastern horizon, a vast armada materialized off the coast of Normandy. an awe-inspiring spectacle of naval might, the likes of which the world had never seen. At precisely 6:30 a.m., the pre-invasion bombardment commenced, a thunderous symphony of naval gunfire and aerial bombardment designed to soften the German defenses. Amidst this deafening cacophony, the first wave of landing craft, their bows low in the water, surged towards the shore, carrying with them the hopes and fears of a continent yearning for liberation. Of the 5 landing beaches designated for the Allied assault, Omaha Beach would forever be etched in history as the site of unimaginable carnage and unparalleled bravery. As the first waves of landing craft approached the shore, they were met with a murderous hail of machine gun fire, mortar rounds, and artillery shells. Yet, amidst this inferno, acts of extraordinary courage and self-sacrifice unfolded. Section 3, Utah, Gold, Juno, and Sword Waves of Determination. While Omaha Beach became a desperate struggle for survival, the landings on the other 4 beaches, though not without their challenges, unfolded with a greater degree of success. On Utah Beach, the American 4th Infantry Division, supported by a meticulously executed airborne assault, encountered lighter-than-expected resistance, quickly securing their objectives and pushing inland. On Gold Beach, British forces, spearheaded by the 50th Northumbrian Infantry Division, faced stiff resistance but managed to overcome the German defenses, their advance aided by specialized tanks equipped to clear minefields and breach obstacles. Canadian troops landing on Juno Beach encountered fierce resistance from entrenched German forces, but fought with tenacity and determination, their sacrifices paving the way for a crucial Allied foothold. Further east on Sword Beach, British and Free French forces, supported by commando units, overcame initial resistance and secured their objectives, their success aided by the chaos sown by the nearby British airborne landings. Section 4, Breaking Through, Establishing a Foothold. As dusk settled over the blood-soaked beaches of Normandy, the outcome of the invasion still hung precariously in the balance. The Allies had established a tenuous foothold on the continent, but the German defenders, though battered and bruised, were far from defeated. Despite the heavy casualties, the indomitable spirit of the Allied soldiers shone through. They had faced the enemy's best and emerged victorious, their courage and sacrifice a testament to the enduring power of freedom and democracy. The beachhead was secured, a fragile bridgehead of liberation carved out of the Nazi-occupied fortress of Europe. The road ahead would be long and arduous, but the tide had turned. D-Day, the longest day, had dawned, and with it, the hope of a continent yearning for liberation. Against the tide logistical nightmares and triumphs, the audacity of the Normandy invasion extended far beyond the beaches, encompassing a logistical undertaking of unprecedented scale. Moving an army across the English Channel, keeping it supplied, and coordinating its movements amidst the chaos of battle was a Herculean task. The sheer volume of men, material, and equipment required to sustain the invasion force was staggering. Thousands of ships crisscrossed the channel, their holds laden with tanks, artillery, and supplies. This intricate ballet of seaborne logistics was a testament to the meticulous planning of the Allied command. Keeping the troops ashore supplied was equally daunting. Artificial harbors, codenamed Mulberry Harbors, were towed across the channel and assembled off the coast of Normandy. These feats of engineering proved crucial in maintaining the flow of supplies to the front lines. The logistical triumphs of D-Day were nothing short of miraculous. They were a testament to the tireless efforts of countless individuals who worked behind the scenes to ensure the success of the invasion. The weather gods, a force multiplier and a foe. In the grand tapestry of war, where human decisions often intersect with the unpredictable forces of nature, the weather can be a fickle mistress, a force multiplier for the fortunate and a formidable foe for the ill-fated. Such was the case in the days leading up to D-Day, as Allied planners anxiously consulted the skies, their hopes and anxieties hinging on the capricious whims of the weather gods. The invasion of Normandy, heavily reliant on air power, naval support, and precise timing, demanded a narrow window of favorable weather conditions. Calm seas were essential for the safe landing of troops and equipment, while clear skies were crucial for effective air operations and aerial reconnaissance. Initially scheduled for June 5, 1944, the invasion was postponed by 24 hours due to a severe storm that lashed the English Channel, whipping up high waves and obscuring the skies with a thick blanket of clouds. This delay, agonizing for the troops poised to embark, proved to be a blessing in disguise. The Germans, lulled into a false sense of security by the storm, relaxed their vigilance, assuming that the invasion had been called off. When the invasion fleet finally set sail on June 6, the weather, though far from ideal, was just barely favorable enough to proceed. The seas were still rough and the skies overcast, but the winds had subsided, and visibility, though limited, was sufficient for the initial landings. The price of freedom, casualties, and the human cost. The triumph of D-Day, the liberation of Europe from Nazi tyranny, was achieved at an immeasurable human cost. Thousands of young men from all walks of life, united in a common cause, paid the ultimate sacrifice on the blood-soaked beaches of Normandy, their dreams and aspirations extinguished amidst the deafening roar of battle. The exact number of casualties remains a subject of debate, but historians estimate that over 10,000 Allied soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing in action on D-Day alone. The beaches of Normandy, once idyllic stretches of sand and surf, were transformed into killing fields, littered with the bodies of fallen soldiers, their uniforms stained crimson with the blood of sacrifice. The human toll of the invasion extended far beyond the battlefield. Families on both sides of the Atlantic were torn apart by grief and loss, their lives forever altered by the news that their sons, husbands, fathers, and brothers would never return home. The Allied victory, though a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought for freedom, came at a staggering price. The beaches of Normandy stand as a solemn reminder of the human cost of war, a sacred ground where the blood of heroes nourished the seeds of liberty. A continent awakens, the liberation of France. The successful Allied landings on the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944, marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany's stranglehold on Europe. The liberation of France, a nation yearning to break free from the chains of oppression, had begun. The Allied advance, though initially slow and arduous, gained momentum as reinforcements poured ashore, pushing back the exhausted and demoralized German forces. The Norman countryside, once a battleground scarred by fire and steel, gradually came back to life as the shadow of Nazi occupation receded. French civilians, their spirits rekindled by the sight of Allied troops, emerged from hiding, their faces etched with a mixture of relief, joy, and disbelief. The liberation of Paris, the heart and soul of France, on August 25, 1944, was a pivotal moment, a symbolic victory that resonated across the globe. The sight of French and American troops led by General Charles de Gaulle marching triumphantly down the Champs-Élysées, greeted by the jubilant cheers of liberated Parisians, signaled that the Nazi grip on Europe was weakening, that the tide of tyranny was receding. The liberation of France, however, was not without its challenges. The retreating German forces, fighting with the desperation of a cornered animal, waged a scorched earth campaign, destroying bridges, roads, and communication lines in a futile attempt to slow the Allied advance. A legacy of courage, D-Day's enduring impact, the echoes of D-Day, the thunder of naval gunfire, the roar of aircraft, the cries of the wounded, and the silence of the fallen continue to reverberate through history. A stark reminder of the human cost of freedom and the enduring legacy of courage. The beaches of Normandy, once battlegrounds, have become sacred ground, places of pilgrimage where veterans and families gather to pay tribute. The countless white crosses and stars of David, standing in silent formation against the backdrop of the English Channel, serve as a solemn reminder of the human cost of conflict, a stark testament to the fragility of peace. D-Day's legacy extends far beyond the beaches of Normandy. It stands as a testament to the power of international cooperation, the unwavering resolve of free people united against tyranny, and the enduring belief in the inherent dignity of all humankind. The stories of D-Day, passed down from generation to generation, serve as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The lessons of D-Day must never be forgotten. They are a call to action, a reminder that the preservation of freedom requires constant vigilance and a willingness to stand up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. a turning point in history. The Normandy invasion marked a turning point in World War II, a decisive blow against tyranny. The successful Allied landings on June 6, 1944, shattered the myth of German invincibility. D-Day was a triumph of the human spirit, a testament to courage, sacrifice, and unity. The liberation of France was a direct result of the sacrifices made on the beaches of Normandy. The liberation of Paris signaled the inevitable collapse of the Third Reich. The sight of troops marching down the Champs-Élysées marked the beginning of the end for Hitler's reign. The enduring spirit of D-Day. Decades after the guns fell silent, the legacy of D-Day continues to inspire across generations. The beaches of Normandy have become hallowed ground, places of pilgrimage where people gather to pay tribute. The countless white crosses and stars of David serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of war. Each grave marker represents a life cut short, a dream unfulfilled. The stories of D-Day serve as a beacon of hope, a reminder of the human spirit's resilience. Ordinary men rose to extraordinary heights of bravery and selflessness. The lessons of D-Day must never be forgotten. They are a call to action, a reminder that freedom requires constant vigilance. The world must never forget the sacrifices made on those beaches for a better tomorrow.